just online for this Sunday class that we call the Zen Cafe. And some people were asking questions and ended up talking about this Dae Bong Sunim, the Musangsa Sunim student who was from Vietnam. And, briefly, his story is he was born same year as me, and so he became a monk when he was a teenager. And he said he's from a farming family. And that time, Vietnam was in war. America was involved in this Vietnam Civil War. And he said that they had to grow their own food at the monastery. And the North Vietnamese thought that they were supporting the South Vietnamese, and the South Vietnamese thought the Buddhist monks were supporting the North Vietnamese. And so everybody would attack them. And he said they just spent all their time either growing food or hiding in the jungle. So one day he looked at himself and he said, I'm just a farmer who wears these brown monk clothes. They wore brown clothes. And he really wanted to learn Buddha's teaching, but there was no time, no opportunity really. And he mentioned that to an old nun, and she told him, chant Quan Sin Bo Sao, that's what he had to do. So he started chanting Quan Sin Bo Sao, however the Vietnamese pronounce it, all the time. So eventually it was running in his head all the time, no matter what. And somehow he managed to get to Thailand, to a refugee camp, and then to America. So he wanted to go someplace where he could practice Buddhism, rather than just be a farmer and hiding from the soldiers on both sides. And he ends up in California, and there's Vietnamese people, so there's these small Vietnamese temples. So he's staying in a temple. But again, there's no chance to really study much because you have to take care of the temple and make food for the lay people when they come and listen to their problems and do chanting for them. So he did learn chanting, but he really wanted to learn practice. And so then he realized he has to do chanting. That's how he got there. And by chanting all the time to himself like a mantra, using Quan Sin Bo Sao like a mantra, he met Musangsa Sunim. And then he really got Zen teaching, and he became a Jito Popsa. And he died some years ago, some 5 or 10 years ago, I think, in California. And it reminded me of a story, too. I told her, do it all the time until it's appearing in your dreams. And I remember Song Chol Sunim, I read about him. When people would come to see him, of course, he made them do 3,000 bows. And I read some dialogue where some layman comes and says he got enlightenment. And Song Chol Sunim asks him about his practice, and then asks him about this wadu. Can he keep it in his sleep? And the guy's no, and so he just sends him away. And I didn't know really what that had to do with, but in talking just a few minutes ago, I remembered a dream I had. Some of you might remember. She was here and first sat 3-month Kyolche, and then we didn't have a Hangwan program, so you had to sit 3 months of Kyolche and pay for it. Before we'd let you be a hangja. And then she became a hangja, and after a few months, and we said, the teaching is just put it down, follow the situation. But that's really hard. I mean, we know it's hard. And eventually she had a back problem, and then she was up and mostly down for a couple months. And right before, eventually she realized, I don't want to be a nun, and her back got better like the next day. And she went back to America, and actually she went into a very good psychology program, training program, because she and I stayed in touch, and she got married and then kind of went off with her life. But right before, when she was still lying down a lot, I had this dream. And in the dream, she and I were walking along a cliff, a really big cliff. and there were some bushes between, the level part here and a little bit of the land, and then the cliff fell. And a bear appeared and wanted to attack us. And I got this idea, if we go on the other side of the bush, the bear can't get to us. And she stepped through first, and I remember we were holding hands. She let go of my hand. But the land, it was just a small space on the other side of the bush before the cliff. It wasn't level, it was tilted. So she immediately fell off. And in the dream, I was shocked. And of course, you know how dreams work, like the bear disappeared, the bushes disappeared. I'm just looking over the cliff, completely shocked. She's falling like way, way down. And in the dream, I screamed to her, "Chant Kwanzaa Balsa!" And I start chanting in the dream. And you know how you can do many things with your mind at one time. So I'm chanting Kwanzaa Balsa, Kwanzaa Balsa, Kwanzaa Balsa. And I'm shouting to her, "Chant Kwanzaa Balsa." And there's a little stream at the bottom, and she's kind of falling at an angle. And I'm also thinking, as the other two, chanting and shouting, I'm thinking, hit the water, hit the water. Yeah, like she'd probably die hitting the water too. But all of a sudden, like Superman, before she hits the ground, she swoops up and lands right behind me. And you know how this happens in dreams. Everything's just filled with this energy. There's just this great energy. And I remember thinking in the dream, now she'll believe, now she'll believe in practicing. So yeah, I guess we have to have that stuff appear in our mind. I mean, if we're really doing it, it'll pop up when we're asleep too, and in our dreams. And it reminded me of a Kongan. I meant to bring the Kongan book up. We've used it before. Musangsa gives a Dharma talk, and he says, there's one thing that is always clear. Even if the whole world explodes, it doesn't disappear. And then he asks people, where does this one thing stay? Where is it when you're dreaming? Where is it when you're not awake and not dreaming? Where is it that time? So maybe I'll use that Tuesday, so it's early warning. Where is it? Not dreaming, not awake. Then where's the one true thing that time? Your true self. The other was this woman who's come here before. She has 2 kids, 6 and 12, 2 daughters, and actually she wanted to get pregnant like 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and I told her to start chanting Kwanzaa Balsa. I think also during the pregnancy, the doctors were worried she'd lose the baby, so they had her lie down a lot, and the 2 kids are really healthy and growing, and so she was happy. Chanting Kwanzaa Balsa helped her settle her mind and just let nature go its way. And, even the kids appeared and they're fine. So let us really find our strong center practice, and then nature will go its way and it'll be okay. And then we can do things that help whatever appear around us. Maybe it's just putting on the headphones and dancing. Okay, thank you.